Secretary, it's just the three of us talking. Ano po nangyari? Ano po yung mga nakita nyo po dyan? Kasi kayo, no, yung budget po ninyo, which was passed by the executive, was less than 1 trillion. But then,
Actually,
pagdating po...
ang DPWH requested 900 billion.
Oo, parang ganyan, di ba?
So
Tapos
yung National Expenditure Program na galing sa Executive Department, kayo po ay biglang nadagdagan ng 288.6 billion pagdating po sa Bicameral Conference Committee. Nangyari na ito dun sa 2024 budget. If I recall right, 176 billion po yung nadagdag sa budget po ng DPWH pagdating sa Bicam. So, ganun kataas mula dun sa sinumiting NEP.
Oo. Kaya nga, so siguro, Secretary, kaya kayo napatawag rin kasi kayo nga yung pinakamataas na budget at hindi nga ito yung original na pinasa po ng executive. So, just between us girls, what happened?
And you?
Well, the President wanted actually the budget that is going to sign anytime soon. That actually, yung mga projects naman, especially dito sa DPWH, will be in accordance with this 8-point socio-economic agenda of this administration po. I think yun ang inaano ang ating Presidente that everything that we have to implement should now be supportive to the 8-point agenda of this administration. So we will scrutinize po yung mga projects. In fact, nakita naman na po namin that there are many that are worthwhile still to implement. In fact, ang sabi ko nga, I think some of the added items are actually responding to the rehabilitation, reconstruction of the damages brought about by the calamities, the past calamities. Alam po naman natin that this year, unprecedented po yung calamities that came to us actually. So there are many infrastructure infrastructure na dapat natin kumpunihin this year at the end of the day. So anyway, besides that, I think we continue to scrutinize po kung ano pa ba yung mga ibang items that we need also to isolate and set back for the time being para further ma-scrutinize po.
Can you do that, Secretary? Kasi lumabas ngayon sa balita, after yung Rizal Day ceremonies, pipirmahan daw ng ating Pangulo yung ating budget para sa susunod na taon. Pero para lang sa kaalaman ng ating mga taga-subaybay and also for the sake of discussion, Secretary, no, na alam natin na yung bawat panukala na proyekto, dumadaan po yan sa masusing pag-aaral bago po yan maisama sa NEP, sa National Expenditure Program. Ngayon po, na nagdagdag ng and it's not a small amount, 288.6 billion pesos worth of projects nang hindi naman natin alam kung ano-anong projects po yung mga yan. No? So, yung ganong kalaking worth, nasaan po yung listahan? Kasi hinahanapan po natin ng mga ng specific projects, hindi po ba?
Yes,
kasi kung gaano kasusi noon yung pag-aaral bago masali sa NEP, bakit ngayon na pagdating po ng sinumitin niratipikahan po ng Congress, nagdagdag ang BICAM ng 288.6 billion in 6 days? Yan po ba ay masusuyod ninyo kung ano-ano po yung mga projects na maisasama po sa mga proyekto next year?
Well, I think this is the real concern of the President actually po. And this is nga ho yung niya sa amin, that we have to see to it that notwithstanding na naando doon na po sa listahan, nandun sa General Appropriations Act eventually, then we still continue to evaluate yung mga projects that may be worthwhile to implement po.
Pero Sec,
there is still a mechanism after that po.
Yeah. Pero Sec Bonoan, not naman to be disrespectful, but DPWH also, yung absorptive capacity ninyo, no, parang DBM has already COA has flagged na underutilized, you're one of the lowest performing in terms of spending, and yet you got the biggest chunk in the budget. How do you explain this po? How can you justify this?
There are two things we have to understand actually that every fiscal year we have 2 years to implement all the projects under the cash management program that we are allowed actually to implement up 2 years, no. So I would not know kung ano yung basis ng COA, but I think we have responded to the COA observation that we are saying that yes, of course, for the first year, the mga kwan lang namin, we entered into obligations of about 70% of the total budget, but in actual implementation, we are only about 60 or 50% for the time being. But we will continue to implement because, as I said, we are allowed actually to continue implementation of all these projects until the end of the second year. So yun po naman ang mechanism po niyan. So admittedly, we will not be able to implement everything in 1 year. But we are allowed to do it in 2 years po.
Yeah, but let me just make that sundot lang, no? Kasi nga, what happened po sa PhilHealth, kinuha po yung kanilang budget, binigyan sila ng zero budget kasi nga, they were not spending it. Kumbaga, they were not spending it. And yet kayo po, you admit that you have 2 years to it. So, I don't understand the rationale why they're also putting more. So, now, kayo po napupula na ito na yung bagong pork. Itong mga projects po ng DPWH.
Yeah, well, I think ito na nga po yung the mechanism actually. I don't know yung sa PhilHealth how they're spending it, but as far as yung line agencies are concerned, as I understand, 2 years po yung implementation period of every fiscal year program.
Okay, sige po.
Yung, Secretary, tanungin ko kasi napag-usapan dito sa programa, meron guest who brought up yung itong budget kasi before, nasa unprogrammed allocations, funds po, ang foreign assisted, no, ng mga infrastructure projects natin. Ito yung mga big ticket, di po ba, Secretary, na hindi po the government did not allot funds, parang counterpart nung inutang natin. Sa ibang bansa na tumatakbo yung loans nun. And ngayon, COA has said in a report, pati itong 17 foreign assisted projects with an aggregate cost of more than 84 billion resulted in loan structuring. Yun ang sinasabi, patuloy yung pagbayad natin dun sa mga utang na yun ng hindi ko lang alam kung itong 2025 budget po natin meron na pong pondo para sa mga talagang merong item for the foreign assisted projects po natin. Pero ito po yung sa COA report, hindi daw napatupad efficiently ng DPWH yung mga foreign assisted projects po natin na which resulted in loan structuring in 2023 and possible restructuring na naman ng other projects in 2024, which costs the government a lot of money, Secretary.
Yes, I would like to put that into a proper perspective po. Actually, yung loan structuring has been a consequence of actually po yung previous implementation of loans that were entered into not only under this administration but yung prior years po. Unfortunately po, the implementation of many of these projects na ongoing at that time, nagkaroon po ng delays because of the pandemic that almost 3 years. Almost 3 years to na-stall yung mga implementation of the projects. And then nagkaroon po yung mga Ukraine war and everything, the prices went up. And things like this. So it's inevitable for us actually to restructure this. Sorry na lang po at nadatanda po namin ito mga ito, but we need to restructure it actually, and this is the reason why nagkaroon po tayo ng adjustments in the implementation of this project. So na-stabilize na po namin yung mga projects ngayon, so we are ongoing na po. In terms of budget, yes, there has been some problems for 2024, but in fairness, the entire budget naman that was allocated for foreign assisted projects in 2024 were just the same released to us actually.
Okay.
Na-release naman po yung lahat.
Oo.
ng foreign assisted program namin in 2024. Even po kahit na medyo nagkaroon kami ng problema doon sa General Appropriations Act.
Oo. Secretary, ito po yung aking katanungan, no? Doon po sa bagong budget po na yun na nga, masusi pong na talagang binubusisi, sinusuhid po na ating presidente. So
Yes po.
itong 1.113 trillion yun po, can you speak for DPWH? Do you see a reduction po dito po, without preempting the president? You don't have to give us the exact ballpark figure, but do you see a significant reduction dito po sa pinopropose po ng BICAM? And the budget, will it really go mostly to flood control? Because this year po talagang napulahan po talaga ang DPWH na Senado wanted pa nga investigation kasi saan napunta daw yung pondo sa lahat mga flood control projects ninyo po. So just a reassurance po that do you see po a significant reduction po dito po sa ipipirmahan po ng presidente?
What I can say po is I think the additional projects that were included in the proposed General Appropriations Act are continue to be scrutinized, not personally by the President and of course the economic team po. We just laid down the parameters by which we can look into more intensively mga projects na nailagay so that at the end of the day, it will actually redound to contribute to the 8-point socioeconomic agenda of this administration po.
Yung kasi ang controversial kasi yung dinagdag no, na yung
Opo, opo.
288.6 billion. Kaya po unconstitutional na kayo po ang kagawaran niyo po ang nakakuha ng highest allocation. Nalabag po sa ating 1987 Constitution. So, bigyan ko lang kayo ng pagkakataon, Secretary, kasi a lot of the news outlets will have to report, no, na ang sinasabi po itong padding na ito, ang laki, 288.6 billion with the background na ito din sinasabi that the DPWH is one of the most corrupt agencies of the government. Naririnig nyo yan, 'di ba, Secretary, no? Paano yung program of work nitong mga supposed to be projects na siningit ng mga ating mga mambabatas. So, ano po ang dun sa ano na yan, ito po ang panig ninyo at I'll give you the platform po to address na ito po daw ang bagong pork barrel ng ating mga legislator. Secretary.
Well, ito yung pinag-uusapan po namin and this is the very clear instructions of the President that whatever projects that will be retained and included into the 2025 budget, we will have to do it in the most transparent manner po and do it in the most we'll have to see to it that they're being implemented to the letter actually and physically consistent with yung mga technical and design standards that had to be undertaken po.
Let's get together. Sunday 25. Sunday 25.